Okay, happy Friday, everybody. Gonna go ahead and make sure that everybody is comfortable doing this little simulation that kind of drives home what's going on with the conservation of energy we've been working on this week. So with that, I'm gonna jump in. You'll notice that there are three levels. Start out with the apprentice or the master level. I'll show you the wizard level. It's a little bit harder, but it does preview what we're going to be talking about next week as far as dissipated energy, which also is known as work. It's a nice idea there, but we're not quite there, but maybe some of you are. So here's what you do. All right, we've got a disk going along a friction-free surface, and what we've got is what are called energy bar charts. So this is telling you that right now it's got no kinetic energy and it's got 5 units worth of potential. So because of its height, relative to this height, which we would call zero, it's got a certain amount of potential energy. And your goal is to cycle through these images and figure out the potential energy at each of the points, point A, point B, and point C. So I'm going to jump in here and say, this doesn't look right because even though I have 5 units of energy, I don't think it would still be potential. I think that I'd be looking for kind of a lot of kinetic energy and very little to maybe no potential energy. Here, this doesn't make sense. I should only have 5 units of energy, and this is telling me 10. I wouldn't have zero energy because energy is conserved. If I have 5 units worth of energy between these two guys, between the kinetic and the potential at all 3 points, I should still have 5 units of energy. Now, this is promising because this is telling me that, look, I got no height, so I got no potential energy, and I have all kinetic energy. So I think that's a winner, but I'm going to go through and just double check. I don't think that makes sense because I'd have a lot of height and not much motion. That's not true. This doesn't add up to 5. And I think we're back at the one that I started with. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with that one. Now let's go ahead and look at B. I'm not going to choose that because that's showing me that I have 7 units of energy and I should only have 5. This is showing me that I don't have 5 units of energy, so I ignore it. Doesn't add up to 5, I ignore it. Does add up to 5. Does show me a little bit of potential and a decent amount of kinetic. So this is promising. I'm going to remember this, 3 and 2. It's not all potential because I had all potential up here. So I'd have to be at the same height here in order to have all potential energy. So we're going to throw that one away. This one doesn't add up to 5. 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 And so I think we're back at this one. So I think you guys are getting the hang of this, hopefully. So what I'm going to do is go out to the main menu. The only difference between the apprentice level and the master level is here you were given initial information. All right, so it told you what was happening at the beginning. This is giving you information at just some location. So, here it's not super complicated. It's still going to be a total of 5 units of energy. And so if I work backwards, I'm going to assume that I probably have lots and lots of potential because I have lots and lots of height, which means I might not have much kinetic energy at all. So I'd be looking for one that adds up to 5 and reflects an awful lot of potential energy. And I think that's the one. So I'm going to let you guys wrestle with those a little bit. And again, once you've got all of them that you think are correct, I'm just putting some in there. You'll click check your answer, and I did that fast, and oh, drats, well, I'd go back and get that fixed up. All right, now, if you want to try the wizard level, I will show it to you, but it is tricky. So what you're seeing is you're starting out up here with 10 units of all gravitational potential because it's green. So I'm going to drop down and I'm going to go through a series of things where I've got friction, and air resistance, and collisions. And as you think about something that is rubbing, once you rub your hands together, that energy is turning into heat. And you can't really get that back out and turn it into like gravitational or kinetic because it's dissipated. It's just sort of spread out into the universe. Elastic potential, that's springs. That's a little bit tricky, which is why I'm thinking maybe this isn't a level you want to tackle at this point. But if you're game for a challenge. All right, so at point A, I'm not going to do this because I don't think I've lost all my energy yet. I think I've got a lot of energy. I've got 10 units of energy. And this would be showing me that I have only a smidge of motion, or excuse me, a smidge of height and no motion. So I don't like that picture. This one's showing me that I have a lot of kinetic energy, which I would, but I still have a little bit of height, so I should see some green in here. So I'm going to ignore that one. This one, I like it because I'm going fast and I have a little bit of gravitational potential, but I would expect to have lost a little bit of energy due to friction at this point. So the fact that there's no orange here makes me believe that's not correct. Now here I've got a fair amount of motion, I've got a little bit of height, and I've lost a little bit of energy. This is promising, so I'm going to remember this one, but I'm going to still cycle through to make sure. All motion, no, we threw that one out already. No gravitational, so I threw that one out. No kinetic, uh, all motion, and no potential. Here, all motion and a smidge of potential, but no loss. So I think we're back to this one, right? Point B. All right, here I'd have, well, this is an interesting one right out of the gate. I've lost more energy because I've traveled further. So that kind of makes sense. More friction has had time to act on the car. I'm going to have more potential at B than I would have at A because honestly, I'm taller at point B. And because of that, I only have a little bit of velocity because I'm going to kind of slow down, slow down, slow down as I go up the hill. My energy is converting into potential. I'm losing some energy. So I like this one. This was promising. I'm going to click through though and make sure that the other ones I can eliminate. This one makes no sense at all because all my energy is potential. It's exactly like this scenario. Nothing was lost. I don't buy it. Here I've got no loss, so I don't buy that one. Again, no loss, no orange bar there. All right, so at this one, let's just double check. I have less potential than I had here. And that doesn't make sense because I have more height. So the green should be larger than the number of greens here. So we continue. This one, it's a possibility, but I'm gonna think that I might have some motion here because I've got to get up and over the hill. So I don't think this is it. Now this one, I've got a little bit of motion. I've got a fair amount of height. And I think this is the one that we said we liked earlier. So I'm just gonna cycle through and double check that. Let's see here. And well, now this one was also promising. So just give me a second because, oh, no, this one is not promising because it has less potential. So I think we have a winner here. Last one, because it comes to a stop, I have no height and I have no motion. So I should be looking for a bar of pure dissipated energy. I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed that I did this right. And there we go. And so you can see that this is hard. So if you want to, give her a shot. If you don't, I get it. Your quote unquote non-graded, non-needing to be submitted submission for this would be to take a screenshot of however many trophies you get, whether you get the apprentice level or the master level or both, or goodness, you do the wizard level, screenshot that, upload it in Canvas there under the assignment, and that is that. And I hope everyone has a great weekend, and I'll see you guys soon. All right, bye-bye.